All right, folks. We're back. It has been a while since I've done an episode. I kind of let that stupid debate act as like a space holder between that Mexican Canadian in Spain. Martinez, Sergio Montoya, Dominico Republico Montoya III, otherwise known as Brandon Martinez. Anyways, what a loser. But we are back, folks. I have taken a little bit of a detour, got some time away, and now I'm here to talk to you again about all the stuff. So much went down in the last few weeks, so much to talk about. The silly little goyim are scrounging around trying to figure out what just happened. They all just had their shit pushed in, starting with Thomas Massey and his masshole republic. But yeah, I want to point out I was the first to show that Massey was an anti-Semite. And now look at him. I just saw this post. Today. He's making a poll saying, what is the greatest threat to America polls? And of course, it's like, Israel is the greatest threat to America. I'll show you guys. It's like so stupid. Like, this is so like retarded. The craziest thing is this isn't even an actual poll. This is just like his followers showing you who supports Thomas Massey. Iran, China, and Russia, not a problem at all, guys. It's just Israel. And I'm so grateful that I had such a role in removing this masshole from Congress. This freaking loser. Lost to Ed Galfin or Gallerin. Nobody even really knows the guy's name. He barely showed up. That just shows you how powerful a Trump endorsement is. This guy just shows up out of nowhere and like smokes his ass. And it shows you that X is a fake environment. But you know what? I like X. I have fun here. I like to call it Twitter, though, just to troll on Elon because he spent so much money. But anti-Semitism is over, man. You got Nick Fuentes crashing out hard. Super crashing out on the Goyim. He does not want to be a part of the Goyim anymore, and I don't blame him. There was a video that dropped, and I would love to be able to get the file to transfer. These files aren't transferring for some reason. My computer's I feel like I have a 1986 IBM like dial-in modem sometimes, you know. But if it'll work, I will get this video up to show you Fuentes. Everybody saw it. Fuentes crashing out on the Goyim. And oh, I got it. Thank you. Let's watch it.
When I thought it couldn't get any crazier, that clip of me saying, like, people should stop eating, we should all want to be skinny, etc. When that clip went viral, I started to see there were a lot of people saying that that is actually a conspiracy to convince people
this isn't even the good part
not to eat anymore as part of like the United Nations 2030 Millennium Development Goals. So I saw Eric Stryker from TRS. I saw Uncensored AI. I saw a few other Twitter accounts. They quote tweeted that clip. I'm not making this up. I'm not exaggerating at all. And they said, oh,
watch how
Nick
hard he
Fuentes
crashes
is telling
out
us
on
to
the
stop
Goyim.
eating. That sounds a lot
and you're
like
supposed
Klaus
to tell me
Schwab
that
will
we
own
didn't
nothing
win.
and be happy.
Game
He's telling
over.
us not to eat because after the war with Iran, there's a fertilizer shortage and there's not going to be enough food. So he's priming the pump for food scarcity. I'm
Watch
not
him,
making
guys.
that up. Go and look at their timeline. I saw this and I'm like,
I'd fast forward.
like,
I'm going to
wow,
fast forward to the good
Goyim
part.
are not people.
you'll
They're
see.
really not people. That is
It is.
honestly the most blackpilling development of the past 5 years. More than COVID, more
Yo,
than
Nick,
BLM,
I want to send you an awesome Jew
more
shirt.
than the Biden administration, more than October 7th. They're saying, so I go on the show and
Yossi
say, hey,
Farrow's
everybody,
gonna put
let's
tefillin on Nick
go on a
Fuentes.
diet. Let's get skinny. Let's stop being fat. Let's be skinny. You don't need to go on a crazy diet. Just eat less. And now people are saying that's a United Nations conspiracy to get people to acquiesce to food scarcity because of the war in Iran. You know, when I was getting into politics,
he's actually
they would
getting
say
people
you're a
saying
Fed
this
if you
to
were
him.
trying
That's how
to
stupid the Goyim are.
like advocate violence. Like if I went on Twitter and said, hey, everybody, let's attack the power grid, people would say you're a federal informant. You're trying to solicit people to commit crimes. Now it's like if you tell people to go on a diet, it's like part of a convoluted CIA operation. What do you even do at that point? What can you even say? Literally, what can you even say at this point that is not going to be construed in that way? So I saw that. I couldn't even believe. I'm like, what even do you say to that? And those were real tweets. This was Uncensored AI, which sponsored that America First United conference a couple of weeks ago, the Jew Bilzerian, Amy Dangerslut, that whole thing. They were like the only sponsor of the conference, and it's that account saying it's a psyop to tell people to go on a diet. So I'm like seriously considering just switching sides.
You should, Nick.
Maybe the Talmud is right.
It is right.
You guys might be subhuman.
The Talmud is right.
Okay.
Don't be cattle,
I used to
Nick.
be on the other side saying, the Talmud says we're not people. It says we're cattle.
You are cattle.
Like we're in mortal danger that you don't have to save us because our lives don't matter. That's really messed up. But as time goes on, I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Goyim are merely beasts that resemble people. Sounds like they clocked us.
It's that you don't have free will.
Got our number on that one. Offensive? Sure. Shocking?
It's like TDS,
absolutely.
but JDS, Jewish
I'm not so sure anymore. Are they absolutely wrong? I can't say with certainty that they are.
That's dope.
It says like in the Talmud, if a goy is drowning, that like a Jew doesn't have to stop people.
Oh, watch this one, guys.
At first I was like, they value our lives so much less than their own. This is so evil. Now I'm like,
watch this one.
I don't know. If I saw a bunch of goyim drowning and they were like, help, help. Wait, but you're a Fed because you said we shouldn't eat as much. I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe you should just like go and drown then or something.
Oh my God.
Is there like a lot of value that's going to go away here? I'm not so sure. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. It's making me question my previously held assumptions. My experiences this year, they're making me just rethink everything. I'm honestly considering like, maybe like Goyim are actually the problem.
Yep.
Maybe like if they just led with that, if one among them, if Ben Shapiro just went on the show
Nick,
and
it's
said,
me.
Look,
I will tell you, Goyim are the problem.
It's all real. I feel like they'd actually be doing better if they just led with that. It would have been shocking, but maybe you should have just ripped the Band-Aid off.
All right, well, you guys heard it. See, he said, are they willing to lead with that? And I've been sitting here in my dark corner of the internet with hundreds of millions of views telling you guys the whole time who the problem is. And it's not that Goyim are the problem. It's like this like Jew DS, Jew derangement syndrome. That's the problem. That's not our problem. We're just Jewing hard. And like, how could you blame us for Jewing hard? We're like winning. We're like conquering the Middle East. We're establishing greater Israel. What the fuck do you care? Southern Lebanon is going to be ours. We'll stop at Syria. We're going to take the Druze community and bring them into Israel. Saudi Arabia is like inching to do business. They hate the Palestinians. These Arabs hate the Palestinians. They cannot get enough of the Jews. And all these LARPing loser lunatics in America are preventing what is the inevitable, which is the Arab-Jewish alliance, a strong Middle East, independent of both America and Russia, allied with America because of the war in Iran. And you stupid Goyim are the problem. You're sitting there being like, oh my God, it's a genocide. Oh my God, it's a genocide in Gaza. I only thought liberals did that. But now, after October 7th, all these right-wing conspirators are out there saying, it's the Jews. Oh my God, they're genocide. 58,000 deaths. The Iranian regime killed 40,000 of its own people, butchered, mowed them down. And that's all we know for sure because they cut the internet out. And that's their own citizens. And they want to LARP like crazy. Matt Baker, for all it's worth, has been a great friend of mine. But he loves to tell me about how I'm a genocidal baby killer. And I'm just like, fuck it. Okay. As long as we could deport all of them, as long as we get southern Lebanon, as long as we take Har Hermon and the Sinai Peninsula and all the Jewish legacy heritage sites, I don't give a fuck, dude. I really don't give a fuck. And I'm just going to lead with that because I don't care anymore. You guys want to call me a baby killer? 58,000 people. Oh, I'm sorry. 58,000 babies in Gaza. Like, we separated the women and the children from the terrorists, and we only killed the women and the children. But, like, you dumb goyim, think about it. You share these pictures of Gaza constantly, and they're like, there's 2.3 million people. Like, 80% of the buildings in Gaza are destroyed, right? There's like not a single building standing in Gaza, including my former beach house from when I was removed from my home in Gush Katif in Sharat Hayam in 2005 during the Israeli disengagement. Gone, smoked out of this world. And I will get that property back. But every single one of these houses, 2.3 million people and only 58,000 deaths, and it's all women and children. What about the rest of them? Where are they? Where are they? Where are the dead babies, you stupid people? And you guys are just so, like, you guys will believe anything and you're easy to be bought. And so that's what's going to end up happening is like 5 years ago, you didn't care about Israel-Palestine if you were on the right. And now you do because all your influencers who were bought and paid for literally smoked your ass, making you hate Jews. And so you're like vaccinated people. Your opinions are going to change in like 5 minutes anyways. All it's going to do is take one more viral campaign or one more thing so that you guys can recognize the base Jews like Randy Fine, right? Congressman Fine is like the most based Jew in Congress. This guy's the only guy screaming mass deportation. He does not give a fuck. He is the one saying, holding the administration accountable without betraying the administration. That's what's important. All these other people, they're like, oh, Trump is out in the Middle East having all these Middle Eastern wars, and he forgot about the southern border. But meanwhile, the Jewish congressman who wears a yarmulke, the only yarmulke-wearing congressman that ever existed, is the one who is carrying the torch in Congress for mass deportations. Thomas Masshole didn't even do that. He was LARPing about Epstein and this Stein and that Stein while chilling with the squad. And he didn't do any of that. So yeah, Fuentes hit it out of the park. You Goyim need to look within. You guys are being really dumb. You guys are being dumb Goyim. And like, I never wanted to be racist like this, but you make it so easy. Like, I didn't want to be this way. But, like, what choice do I have? I'm, like, called a baby killer by my own friends. As if, like, you guys, like, vacation in Gaza. You guys have never even been to... You don't even know what it is. UNICEF, the United Nations, every liberal organization that you ever hated tells you what to believe, and you're just like, oh, yeah, me and the trans community, we're going to go fight for Palestine. Palestine! Palestine! I was on a dating app. I got to show you guys this tweet. This was so funny. I was on this dating app. And before we get started, our guest just got here. We're going to jump into the interview very soon. But we are launching, I mean, not me, but in conjunction with the show, a new dating app for Jews called Mazel Meet. Because we are so sick of all, every Jewish dating app is totally owned by Goyim. JSwipe, JDate, these are all owned by Goyim. And so, like, these apps, first of all, I'm, like, completely banned from all the dating apps. I got, like, a match group ban, which is, like, 70 apps that I'm not allowed, because I got divorced. So now that I'm divorced, I'm out here trying to fish again, and I can't get on any of these apps. I will show you the app Mazel Meet, because they're going to be the official sponsor of the show. We're going to plug them every single episode because it's a Jewish-owned dating app, and we need that because JDate, JSwipe, all these apps are owned by Match Group, And Match Group discriminates against Jewish people. They like kick me off because I'm too popular. And they're like one of these liberal activists. I petitioned them so hard to get an account back on Hinge because Hinge is like the premier dating site. And they just don't care. They have like it's a non-Jewish app, guys. Like, and they're controlling Jewish dating. And that's just not how it's going to work. Okay, for some reason it's not letting me connect. Why is this? Manage Wi-Fi settings. Okay. Mazel Meat's not loading, but we're going to have Mazel Meat as the official sponsor. Let me try on a different. Maybe it's Mazel Mate. We're going to try on a different server. If it doesn't work, oh, we got it. Here we go. Check it out, folks. Mazel Mate. This is not Mazel Meat, Mazel Mate. They're the new sponsor of the show. I have an account. I don't know how, but if you click on this link right up here, you can actually download it as an app from the web browser. And this is going to be the best Jewish dating app because all the other apps are for shit. They're sheker. They're owned by like the Match Group, which is a Mormon company, and they're playing liberal politics with Jewish genetics. And we're not down, folks. We are just not down. Not anymore, we're not. So go to Mazel Meat. But I'll tell you why we need a Jewish dating app. If I could get this screenshot to go through. Because, you know, these people, I got it. Check it. I was on this dating app. It's just filled with liberal scum. This is what she says to me. I said, "What are you up to tonight? Are you Jewish?" She said, "I'm sadly doing homework tonight. I'm technically Jewish, but not religious or practicing. And I should say I'm pro-Palestinian and not interested in further chat about that at this time." So I said, "I'm into free Palestine. Like, we should take it for free." I thought that was funny. But like, how can we exist on this app? How can we continue our legacy when like this is what's out there? This is like, and they predominantly, these liberal loser Jews are like trying to, they'll kick you off if you say anything not pro-Palestine or pro-gay or pro-trans or pro-vaccine or pro-everything. It's really lame, folks. Anyways, we got a great crowd. I'm going to bring in our guest. Let's do a quick little mic check for Shelly Rawlings, who is leading Israel right now in geoengineering activism. Shelly, give me your ABCs to get your mic on.
Hi, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
I'm really excited to have you because geoengineering is actually a big passion of mine. And you know, I live in California and they're always doing geoengineering in the sky. You know, for all you guys who don't understand, geoengineering is like weather modification, cloud seeding, and what else? What else falls under geoengineering, Shelly? Is that it?
Geoengineering is, actually weather modification, a type of weather modification, spreading particles into the atmosphere, solar radiation management, SRM. There's all kinds of names for that. But the cloud seeding is actually a type of weather modification that is like the least problematic that we're dealing with right now. Geoengineering is actually taking it to a whole other level of craziness, just craziness, because what is happening right now, and it's not happening only in one country, it's happening literally all over the world. It's a cooperation of governments, actually, and spraying the atmosphere with all these particles, heavy metals, aluminum, barium, strontium, and some would say smart dust. And it's really terrifying what's happening, because the effects of that is not, well, what some people say the excuse behind it, like some people are asking me, well, why would people do something like that? Don't they have kids, their own kids and families? Like, why would they spray the atmosphere with chemicals? And a lot of these people actually believe it's to fight climate change. They think that
Right,
that's a
that's the
way to,
excuse.
yeah, cool down the planet. So that's how we're going to fight climate change. That's how we're going to cool down the planet and save the planet. But now we're discovering that they're even talking about it in public, that there are a lot of unknown um, repercussions. There is like an unknown side effects to that they don't even know what can happen in the future. There's a lot of research about it that's coming out by independent researchers, because obviously the government is not researching it right now, unfortunately. And it's very bad what it can potentially do. Well, it's already doing to people's health, to the climate. That's the real climate change. It's literally destroying the planet.
Man-made climate change.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
your group is called
exactly.
Blue Sky, and you guys are lobbying
Yep.
Israel's Knesset constantly, trying to get legislative change, and you've had some success reaching certain Knesset members in Israel. I got in touch with your group. I have a girlfriend in Israel who has been getting like so sick, and she's been saying to me that it's because of weather modification, and she's like 100% convinced it's weather modification. So she was the one who turned me on to your guys' group. You guys are doing amazing work. How many activists do you guys have in your team?
Well, we have thousands of people. Really, I lost count, because the awakening in Israel is just growing bigger and bigger
Right.
by the day. I
Israel
literally
was a
got
slow
into,
place to wake up because they were like overly vaccinated. They trusted the government. They like, and there is a correlation between vaccines and chemtrails.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, because well, also the effect of what it's doing to people. But yeah, we don't
So
really know
why do
what
they
they're
use
putting
these
out there.
chemicals? Why aluminum? Why barium? Why the other ones that you said? What is obviously we all believe it's not for cloud seeding, but what is the main push? What is the main thrust for this? Like what do these chemicals do to the human body? Like why are they using these chemicals and these metals specifically? Maybe you can educate the public on that. Like really open this can of worms for us, please.
Okay, well, there is like all sorts of levels to this madness. I'll start with the first, the chemicals, the heavy metals. It's really meant for controlling us, controlling the public. When this cloud is covering the sun, the first thing that happens is that we don't get sunlight. Sunlight really affects our consciousness as, human beings, as alive organism. We need the sun, and without the sun, people get more sick, they get more depressed, etc., etc. That's like just on the basic level. Forget about the heavy metals for a second. That's just like very basic. We need sunlight, and they're dimming the sun. Now to the heavy metals. The heavy metals have obvious effects on every living body. The ecosystem. Everything is getting hurt. People are saying that they're people that farmers that are growing vegetables, fruit. They say that their crops are getting hurt because of it. It's not growing the same. Plants are dying. Life is just not the same anymore. And the heavy metals is just like the heavy metals in the vaccines. It's poison. It's toxic. And what's happening with the vaccines is, I just saw actually a friend of mine that posted about it, Andrew Bridgen. That how it's making you it's almost like a lobotomy. It's calcifying your pineal gland. It just makes you docile, you know. It's just like in the Holocaust, you know, how they used to put fluoride in the water, so people are more docile and they don't resist to what is happening. And it's all connected, you know. It's just to make people docile, to make them completely asleep to what is happening, because
So they could
we're
be
under
controlled. They
attack.
want to control the public, and there's all sorts of mechanisms like that they use to control and docile the public. And do you think that's really it, or, you know, because I became very passionate about chemtrails. I live out here in the countryside in California, and we don't get chemtrails all the time. I was in LA for Shavuot, the holiday. They're like nonstop chemtrails over there. Here out in the countryside, every once in a while we'll get chemtrails, and I always wonder, like, do you know about Operation what is it called? Uh uh Not blue beam. There's this thing where they project into the sky images, holographic images into the sky. It might be blue
Yeah,
beam.
yeah, it's blue beam,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
So I always thought that those heavy metals are like staying in the stratosphere, almost like creating a screen for blue beam, so that when they have like Jesus float down from the sky and convince everybody that it's the second coming, or if like some giant alien spacecraft comes down, they have like everything set up to perfectly control the population. That was like what I was speculating there for, because they don't really change the weather. I grew up here, and it's pretty much the same weather that we've always had. You know, they say that it's, you know, cloud seeding and whatnot, but nothing's really changed. There's not more rain. There's not less rain. It's just pretty much the same amount of rain that there's always been. I know in the UAE, they
That's
actually do cloud seeding to make rain because there is no rain there. You know, and I understand like more that type of geoengineering, like turning a wasteland desert into like an oasis or a tropical oasis. But in Israel, they've done a fantastic job bringing the desert back to life. And, you know,
yeah.
so I don't understand why in Israel. Plus, Israel is supposed to be, you know, this sacred land. Like, let it be God's land, you know, like. So Blue Sky is an organization. You guys have who are you lobbying primarily in the Knesset? Is it Smotrich and Ben Gvir? Because I'm on them these days. I love those guys.
We go to everybody, okay?
Who have you had the most
We're not
success with?
we're actually very successful with the right wing, but you know, we go to everybody. Everyone that wants to help us, we'll take the help, you know. And it's great, all the response we got amazing response. Especially I have to give like a huge shout out to Limor Sun Harmelech, because she has been so helpful in so many topics, not just with geoengineering. She helped our friend Jonathan Segev with his battle against the World Health Organization, getting a lot of change implemented in the Israeli Knesset and in the system, you know, cutting budgets and doing a lot of amazing work, holy work, really. So we've done amazing, and actually we're gonna publish some crazy news that is happening really
Can
soon
you
about
break
our
it on the show?
progress. Uh, well, I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that
Is it
I'm coming to
legislative?
Israel very soon.
Is it
You're gonna see me
legislative
in the
news?
Knesset.
It's what?
Yep, yep.
Oh,
You're gonna
fantastic.
see me in the Knesset very soon. Yeah.
Amazing. So, what
Yeah.
Knesset members should we support? Who is really care? Because that is such a big deal. Like the anti-vax, the anti-cloud seeding. These are like they're pretty much all they're pretty much all pro-vax. You know, the World Health Organization and the WEF, basically it's so cheap to buy Israeli politicians. Most of them have no value system. They're like open for the purchase of anything. Even Netanyahu and all of them, have been influenced or swayed in some way. Some of them, and I think Netanyahu, I think he has like a Yehudi nefesh. Like he really sometimes he comes back to the base. He'll stray, he'll be influenced by like Trump and other people, and then he'll come back to the roots. So, I loved Netanyahu growing up. I was extremely disappointed with the vaccines and the wholesale deletion of our ancient bloodline through the mRNA chimera, human animal chimera technology. But in the system in Israel, it's almost like a gridlock. You have nobody could agree like on who should lead, and all we see is the controversial politicians, like Ben Gvir and Smotrich and stuff like that. They're not controversial to me. I loved watching them make those stupid people bow and kiss their feet. That was awesome. Because if Jews did that in other countries, they'd be killed. If a Jew went to Iran to go protest how the Iranians are treating their public, they would be captured and killed and tortured and never released. And here Israel's like, kiss the boot, go home, and it's like, give me a break. But who should Israel support? There's 120 Knesset members. Who should Klal Yisrael support in the Knesset? Because they all look like crap to me, but who is working with you? Who's open to seeing the light?
Well, like I mentioned, Limor Sonar Melech, a lot of people disagree with her because of her political views, but just
what are
on
her
the
political
ground,
views?
Well, she was the one that pushed the death sentence new law, the death sentence to
to who?
terrorists.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
Why is it controversial?
She's a very controversial image, but she was the one of the very few people that stood up with us, and we really appreciate her for that.
Get her on the show.
Person. Sorry?
Get her on the show so we could pump some money her way and help her out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll
kill all the terrorists.
Try to talk to her.
Kill them all.
Sorry. I agree. Yeah. And,
but she's also open to like anti-vax too. Is she down with the whole That's cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because,
Israel,
like I mentioned,
Australia, Canada, these were like the worst nations for vaccines. They like destroyed these countries over vaccines.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's ridiculous what happened during COVID, but there was so much misinformation in Israel that it was, people, I couldn't believe so many people fell for it, but it was a lot of lying to the public, just like everywhere else. They were pushing it, I remember back in the day, they were telling us that it was FDA approved before it was officially FDA approved, And right. I remember checking.
And then they were also telling people that like Pfizer developed the technology in Israel, so Israelis felt like a sense of pride in Pfizer, even though it wasn't really developed in Israel. Like it was like total fake news.
Yeah. It's horrifying what happened, and a lot of people are now, they're very, very angry with the government. There is so much mistrust with our government. It's very sad to see what's happening, but we hope to bring some kind of a level of trust back. Like our friends, like I mentioned, there is a lot of people that are pushing, positive change, and we're really trying to fight this darkness. Obviously, like you mentioned, there is a lot of people that are that either blackmailed or they're completely just not with us. They're not they're completely bought up by corporations or other blackmailing ways, whatever. But we really hope, we just need, like what we said is just like, the Illuminati or whatever, they have their agents everywhere. So we just need to have our agents, agents of light, people that want to bring positive change.
You mean like
And
the
there are
Lamed
people
Vav
like that.
Tzadikim?
Yeah, exactly. There are people like that. There is another person in the Knesset. He was actually one of the only people in the beginning of COVID that spoke up, and it's now I forget his name. Oh, sorry, I forgot his name.
It's okay.
Amazing
You'll
person.
remember it and then just interrupt and tell us when you remember.
Moshe Feigelin.
Oh,
That's his
Moshe
name.
Feiglin's the OG.
Yeah,
I remember being
yeah.
like 20 years old in Israel watching him speak. He was like, so everyone hated him, and he would just like, he was so smooth, and he would just like walk up to the podium against all hatred and just drop it like it's hot. And then he became a Knesset member, and then he like really, that is a true Yehudi, like a real fighter of the people in our bloodline.
Yeah, he's amazing. There is some other people like Zelika. He's more in the finance field that is trying to push against the monopolies. There's like so many things that went wrong in Israel. Like the monopolies are taking over with like every single company you can think of, any field in the country. So there's this guy that's trying to push against it, like for the last I don't know how many years, like 10, 20 years. He's been talking about it. So like I would like to see him running in the next elections. I
Who
would
is
totally
it?
vote for him.
Who is it?
Zelika, that's his last
Zelika?
name. I forgot his
Mm.
first name. Yeah. That's the names that I hear a lot. That so they're out there.
What do you think about the
We're
coalition in Israel dissolving over the Haredim?
uh, it's sad to hear that it's happening. We were obviously not happy to hear that, but it's like the government has been, so unsteady, like so many times. It's not surprising.
Mm.
Like
What do you
it's
think's going
very
to be the
sad.
What
Yeah.
do you think's going to be the result?
In the next elections,
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
I don't
You never
understand. It
know.
seemed like so easy for Bibi just to like give the Haredim what they wanted and then keep the coalition and keep power. Why was it? Was he really in like a pickle? Like, why did he have to like push so hard that they went into the army? I know everybody wants them to go to the army, and they pearl clutch over the Torah like it's like their way out. But like, was it worth it to lose the coalition over that? Surprised me.
I honestly can't tell you. Well, Israel needs its army, It's this is like the last frontier before the Middle East. Like
Mm-hmm.
Israel has to have an army, a strong army. And I don't know what happened there exactly, but I'm I don't know. I really don't know
Like, does Israel
what would
really
be the
want
right solution.
like does Israel really want like Notori Kartaniks in the army with guns? Like, why draft those people? You know what I'm
I
saying?
know. Yeah.
Like, I don't want them with
Yeah.
guns.
Right.
They don't
I
want to
agree
serve
with
in the
you.
army. Gesundheit, you know. My favorite story in the entire Bible, not my favorite, but one of them, is when Gidon goes to war and he like says, "Did any of you plant a field and haven't harvested fruits? Okay, you don't go to war. Did anybody get married? Okay, you don't go to war. Is anybody afraid? You don't go to war." And then the last thing was the soldiers were like starved, and anyone who like put their mouth to the water and drank directly from the water, he said don't go. But anybody who lifted the water up with their hands, and he only had 300 men and he went to war. We have to realize that a Kodesh Baruch Hu fights our battles for us. You know, we win only through his blessing. We can have the biggest army in the world, and if he doesn't bless us, we don't win. And we can have the smallest army in the world, as we did on Twitter with all these Jews on Twitter, me and the crew, and we win because Hashem has blessed us.
Right.
So
Right.
it all comes
sure.
down to Hashem. That's why it's like, do we need more soldiers? No, we have space lasers and nukes. What do we need people for?
Right.
We have like
exactly.
AI AI weapon systems, Palantir, Israel's crushing. Let them go. Keep the coalition. End the regime in Iran, you know?
Yeah, soon we're gonna have robots too, right? So
As long, yeah.
who needs people?
Mashiach is coming, I gotta tell you. All right,
Yeah.
but staying on topic, cloud seeding, right? So we want to
Yep.
end it in Israel. What's the timeline to ending it? Obviously, you got some legislation coming or some big news coming. I wish you came on the show after you had the legislation so we could blow it up, but you're going to have to put it to us, and we're going to have to update the audience as the legislation is coming out. But you know, Israel has so many Americans like myself that come every year to visit. We want Israel to be a safe and healthy place. We don't want cloud seeding and all these weird Bill Gates WEF technologies, you know, in our homeland. What's the
Absolutely.
timeline to stopping it? I know your group is the leading group. You know, even in America, we don't have groups this organized to stop geoengineering and cloud seeding. So, what's the timeline that you give to stop it, and how can it be exported to our greatest ally, America, so that here in America we can also stop cloud seeding?
Oh, great question. Well, right now we are working. We're giving everything we have to put the legislation in, and we're actually doing very well because we only started this group about a year ago, and comparing to other groups that came up since COVID that are trying to make change in the system, we've been doing very well. It really depends on the government, you know, what's going to happen. It's a little bit shaky right now, but like I said, there is really big news coming up very, very soon. It's 100% coming. I'm 100% going to be in the Knesset very soon. But I can tell you, I hope this year, Bezrat Hashem, if not next year, we're gonna be done with this crime. We're gonna stop
By
it.
next year. Okay,
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
What do you think about Yair Netanyahu? He's a big fan of the show and he follows the account and he's always
No way.
retweeting and liking everything. Big shout out to Yair Netanyahu. I think he has a very bright future. What do you think about him getting involved? Like, is he somebody that you feel is reachable with this message? Have you ever tried to reach out to him? I'm sure you have mutual
Actually,
friends. You know, I'm sure everybody in Israel has at least one mutual friend with him. He's
no
very well
way.
connected
Wow,
and plugged in.
amazing. Well, if he's on board, we would love to talk to him. Absolutely. Yair, if you see this message, let's talk, please. We need good people on our team for sure.
I think Yair
Absolutely.
Netanyahu can have a very bright future in Jewish leadership. And, you know, he's a very unique soul. I don't know him personally. I know he follows the account. I'm very grateful for that. I think he's really somebody who could truly break through the kind of stagnation that we have in this generational crisis, you know, of the old generation and the new generation. I would love to see you guys be able to reach him. What would you tell him if you had to sit down and educate him on what's taking place?
Well, I would tell him what I tell everybody. Do you remember back in the day when we were kids and the sky was were blue? Like we want to bring it back. We want to bring the sky to what they were, blue sky in the Holy Land. We want people to come back to visit Israel and not come back to this gas chamber where you can't breathe. Like we have people that are getting sick, they're getting respiratory illnesses.
Mhm.
They just, you know, can't function anymore. Our friends, my friends back home, they don't function. They can't do anything. They don't go outside anymore. They sit indoors with their air purifier filtering out their air because there is always kind of like Sahara desert storm coming every like Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mhm.
Bill Gates Sahara Desert, by the way, engineered ones. We
Mhm.
all know it's engineered. We're tired. We're sick of it. We don't want to be. We don't want to be sick anymore. We want to be healthy. We want to bring the country back to what it was. We want people to thrive. We want businesses to succeed. we can't deal with it. Like, we had COVID, then we had the war. It's crisis after crisis after crisis. We want to go back to normal. Yeah, that's
It
it.
is like they're chipping away at us, they're trying to chip away at the spirit of the Nefesh Yehudi. They're like slowly, slowly, they do this, they do that. The terrorists come, foreign governments, foreign companies, also, they're just chipping away at who we are as a people. And so I
Right,
definitely see that. You know what would
right.
be a really interesting study is if you took your air filter and then ran tests to see what is being caught in the filter. What type of heavy
That's a
metals,
great idea.
because then it shows what's dropping on the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially because like if you're not filtering your room, I always say this, like, like when you first wake up in the morning and the sunlight peers through your window from the east, you could see like all the little particles of dust in the air on the residues of the light. It's just in the early morning. And I run an air filter too. So, but I still see particles in the air, just floating around, free floating. And we take deep breaths. These particles come in to our lungs and everything. We can't see them because they're too small for the eyes and whatnot. But that would be a really fantastic study for you guys to do and take with you to the Knesset, to buy brand new filters, run them 24 hours for like a week, and then show what's in the test, show what is being filtered out of the air. Do it outside, do one outside, and do one inside to show the difference between outdoor air and indoor air. And do it at different parts of the country too. Set it up, because Israel is so small, you could do it. You could do one in the north on the Golan, you could do one in the south in Ashkelon, you could do one in the Negev, in Eilat, and really show the different quality of air throughout the whole country. It'd be a very easy test. It could be done in like less than a month. And that would be really
Absolutely.
concrete evidence to show the government, what is actually being dumped on the people and on the food and on the plants.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Exactly what you're saying. I had a conversation with an amazing lawyer named Blake Horowitz, who works in the United States, and he's also right now practicing. He filed a lawsuit actually against the university, I think in Colorado, with a whistleblower from NOAA that worked for NOAA, and he, talked about how he saw their they were dealing with geoengineering there in the organization, and he wanted to, push for transparency. They ended up firing him, and now he's spilling the beans. He's telling everything. So Blake Horowitz, amazing person, amazing guy. Go follow him. He is also
He's an American Jew.
trying to help us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He told
Okay.
us exactly the same thing. He told us go and do this experiment with an air filter, put it on, a mountain top, and try to gather all the air particles. Do it in different places in the country. So that would be amazing. We
Yeah,
would love
do
to
it on
do
a
that.
farm too, like a big, set it up in the center of a farm and show like what's being dumped on the crops. You know what I'm saying? Like really, it would be so easy to show. And that, because on a big open farm, there should be nothing there. There should be nothing in the filter whatsoever except dust particles and sand, but if there's like heavy metals and toxins in the farm, that it's in the food, and that it's being poisoning people and they're getting sick and dying. But
Exactly,
yeah, how do
exactly.
we export this type of effort into America? Because here in America, like I always wonder, like maybe do you even know of any American organizations that are doing this in tandem that you've seen?
Yeah, so I spoke with Blake. He had another group that and now I forget their name. I'm looking right now in my Twitter handle. Reclaim Our Skies. They're an
Okay.
amazing group, a
Reclaim
group
Our
of lawyers
Skies.
actually. Yeah. Very, very amazing people. We have zerogeoengineering.com. That's another, it's a website. They don't have social media at all. But if you want to research this topic and you're looking for material, or if you're a group already working in the United States, trying to help. They're one of the most amazing, well, it's one individual actually that is doing all this work. From what I know, the website is like an encyclopedia of information. They have stuff about Israel, they have stuff about like any country in the world, tons of material you can find. It's like a search engine of geoengineering, literally. And of course, there is Dan Wigington, who I had the pleasure to speak with a couple of months ago. He also totally supports our effort. All of them, by the way, support our effort. They hopefully will be shown in the Knesset very soon, and speak to some of the members of the Knesset about this topic, about this very dire issue. And Dan Wigington has a website called geoengineeringwatch.org. He made a movie called The Dimming. He's one of the first or the most known activists in this topic. Millions of views on his website. He has also a lot of information there on his website, lots of documents. So there's a lot of people that are acting, that are doing things, amazing things in the United States. Right now, there is 38 states that have pushed to legislation. 35 out of the 38, it hasn't passed yet. But 3 states have already passed the law. It's Florida, Kentucky, and I think
I thought it was Maine.
now I forgot.
Was it Maine or Vermont? Maine or Vermont? I think it was one of those.
I can't believe I forgot it. By the way, it's 2:45 in the morning right now. So
I appreciate you hustling. This is some real hustle for the love of your activism.
Thank you.
I want to pivot because in our pre-show, when we were just talking and exchanging ideas, you mentioned a big smoking gun. Supposedly there's a American-funded company in Israel called Stardust. And Stardust openly disclosed what it was doing and gave you guys the in to know what is going on. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for mentioning that. Stardust, it's a company. They're openly talking about that they're pushing into the geoengineering. They call it technology. They're registered in the States, but their offices are located in Israel. So they're operating in both the States and in Israel. Physically, they're located in Israel. They're Israeli. Absolutely crazy. Their CEO, Yanai, has been working for the Israeli government for about 30 years. He's been in the nuclear research program. Then later on, something he didn't mention, but we found in the documents, I posted about it on my Twitter handle. You can go and check it out. He actually served as part of the COVID Crisis Council during the Corona pandemic. And so after that happened, he did his thing in the Israeli government. That's his words, not mine. They decided, well, what are we going to do next? Let's focus about climate. They didn't know anything about climate. That's what he says in 2021.
So this is the same company. They pivoted from the pandemic into geoengineering.
Into climate. Yeah, they said, we don't know anything about climate, but today we want to dim the sun because that's what we feel like doing. And they started this company. They got funded by, most of their funding is coming from a company that is Israeli, American, and Canadian called AWZ Ventures.
AWZ Ventures.
Yeah, it's an armor company. It's for weapons and for the military industrial complex. And so they're funding them.
Weird
And
bedfellows.
what's that?
I said weird bedfellows.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And
it's an American expression. It means like when, strange people that shouldn't normally dwell together are dwelling together.
yeah, well, because geoengineering is a weapon. It's a
Mm-hmm.
weapon.
It's a
That's what it
weapon.
is. And we are in a war. This is a war. Not just the geoengineering. All of the things that are happening right now, the vaccines, the ticks in the United States. It's all a war against humanity. We're being attacked by these elites. They think they can, do whatever they want. They want one day for us to stop eating meat, so they're sending ticks on everybody. They're giving everybody the alpha gal syndrome, or they're dimming the sun because it's for our benefit, for our best interest. Like, these people are psychos, completely psychos.
Absolutely.
And this guy, Yanai, one day he just wanted to do this sun dimming technology, and that's what he's doing now. And their whole purpose, they're being very out in the open about it, which is, on one hand, it's really great because they're giving a lot of information that until now were speculations. People didn't know really what was going on, but they're openly admitting that until now they used to use sulfuric acid to dim the sun. The technology that they had, they call it technology, it was sulfuric acid, which is poison, like just, right? Obviously, they even
Right. You
say
don't want
it's
to drink it.
definitely don't want to drink it. You don't want to breathe it. You don't want it near
Yeah.
you. And now they're developing something that is more biodegradable. So it's going to be better for the environment. But they still don't know what the long-term effects are. And what they're offering to do something that is a little bit more environmentally friendly to help the planet. Like, these people are, like, just plant a tree.
Right.
why
Exactly.
why you gotta spray us?
I know.
It like,
God
it's
made
obviously.
a filtration system. It's called a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Cleans
They're
the
obviously
air.
not on our side. And so we have to stop them. It's good that they're telling us out in the open what their plans are, but we are in a race right now with these people because they want to contact. They say we're not the one making the decision. The government is the one making the decision. We're just going to give the government the tools to understand that what we're doing right now is safe and effective, just like the vaccines. It's all nice. It's all okay. It's all for the betterment of humanity. It's all for to save the planet or whatever. And we're giving them all the tools. We're going to give them all the information. So what they're doing, they're building right now a whole like they're doing a giant research for the government to educate the government that this is good for us, so people like us can't resist, so that's what they're doing, and we have to beat them on this race and try to talk to the government before they go and come and talk to the government. They have, researchers and scientists, the best of the best of in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be very hard to say no to them if they come to the government first and say, listen, we're here to save the planet. So we have to come first. We have to bring our own scientists. We have to pay out of our own money to do all this research, to show the government how dangerous this is and that you can't play God. You can't change the climate, like what happens if a volcano erupts, like, and you're doing geoengineering. You got to bring the entire earth into an ice age. Like, you can't do
Right.
that.
That's what they want to do. They want a mass population
Destroy
extinction
the
event.
planet. Yeah.
Speaking of mass population extinction events, what do you think the long-term implications of the vaccine are? Like, do you think, because obviously everybody took the vaccine, like, I mean, I didn't, and people who watch this show didn't, and you didn't. But for all the people who did take the vaccine, is it like a death sentence, or are they able to filter it out? What do you think about that? Like the people who are alive now without any complications or side effects, is it just delayed side effects? I always thought it was sterilization. And do you think that it could be transferred? Like I remember in the beginning they were always talking about shedding. And do you think shedding can still happen now, 4 years after the vaccine, 5 years after the vaccine?
Honestly, it's a very big, it's still a mystery what's gonna happen, to people that got vaccinated. Like for example, my mom, she didn't listen to me. She took 3 shots. She's now dealing with severe Alzheimer. She has complete brain damage, and it's terrible. But on the other hand, my dad, God bless him, he took 5 shots, five. Okay, my parents did not listen. Yeah, and he is not a healthy person. He's a smoker, and he's doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and he is still healthy and strong. So I don't know what the repercussions are for everybody. I think it's different for different people, but if you want to save yourself, if you're worried about what the side effects are, you can do a cleanse. I believe that if you work on cleaning your body, well, regardless now of the vaccines, you have to do a protocol to cleanse your body from heavy metals, because we're breathing heavy metals. It's in the food, it's in the air, it's in the vaccines. Cleaning your body from heavy metals is just getting healthier, drinking a lot of green juices. It's good for you, just get healthy. And really, I've heard terrible things. I've seen terrible things like miscarriages.
Yeah, I have too.
You were talking. Yeah, it's just horrendous. Like you see it all over the place. It's happening all around us, and it's people. It still amazes me that people are still don't some people don't grasp, like my parents. They don't really realize that we're right now in the middle of like this quiet Holocaust. Like people are just dying. Like I see the news in Israel, people are dying
What do you
every
think about
single
shedding?
day.
Do you think shedding is real? Or
Like,
like
can
shedding through
you
sexual
break it down?
contact or something like that?
Yeah, I've heard some people talk about it, that, like, for example, I have a friend that is working with us that told me that when her daughter got the vaccine, she got her menstrual cycle and she's like 60 years old, So I believe
She
it's
got a menstrual
possible.
cycle
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah,
60. It
yeah.
came
Way
back.
past her menopause. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I believe it's possible, but you can't obsess too much about it. Like there's so many things that are unknown right now. There's so many
Hmm.
things that we don't know. Like the best thing to do right now is just to live your life and stay healthy. And it's all like,
And clean
also
your
it's
blood.
all psychological warfare. There
Yeah.
don't you can't live in fear. You have
Hmm.
to always just keep going. And like in Israel, what's happening, for example, with the war and everything, like the news are always trying to pump fear into you to
Hmm.
keep you in a low state of
Vibration.
energy,
Yeah.
so
Here in
again,
America too.
yeah,
Here in
it's all
America
about
too.
control.
Yeah.
If you're in a low state of energy, if you're in a fear state of energy, you're easier to control. So the best thing you can do is to stay healthy, live your life, don't watch the news, don't stay in this fear energy, the low energy state. Try to stay in a high energy state. Like my husband, for example, I'll give you another example. um, he didn't take the shot, but he was diagnosed right before COVID in 2019 with MS.
Hmm.
And he chose not to take the protocol that was offered to him by his doctor. He was given really, really very strong medication with very severe side effects. And luckily for us, for him, it wasn't a very severe case of MS. So it's not like it was a life risk, for him, a life and death situation. So he decided not to take it, and thank God we're in a happy place where we have 3 beautiful children. We're in a very happy place in our life, and he has been doing great without the medication. He didn't need it.
Yeah.
So it's all starts here.
Cannabis also helps MS.
Yeah, that helps too.
I
It's
do.
like,
I do a lot of research into cannabis, and it's kind of one of those avenues. There's a really famous doctor, Dr. Raphael Meshulam in Israel, who studies cannabis on a lot of different diseases, and I highly recommend you guys look him up for MS. But that's crazy. Yeah, like I don't really believe in like Western medicine diagnoses. They're always misdiagnosing. They're always giving false positives, false negatives, just so they could prescribe meds, just so they could prescribe surgeries, just so they could black pill people. They want to tell people, oh, you're gonna die. And only Hashem can determine who lives and who dies, no matter what. I mean, go swim in nuclear radiation, and if
absolutely.
Hashem wants you to live, you're going to live.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the solution is for everything that's happening in the world. I would like to know. It says that when the Mashiach comes, many will die except those with the Mashiach. And then the earth will go into a 1,000-year cleansing period. And if you think about all the pollution in the ocean, there's like 3.5 trillion tons of plastic in the ocean. It's going to take a long time for that to decompose, to become a part of the environment, to be filtered out of Earth so that Earth can be clean and organic again. It makes a lot of sense with all the geoengineering and all the microscopic nanodust that's been spread all over the world. It's going to take a long time for that to be neutralized and to be cleaned up. And a lot of brilliant technology is going to have to be created in order to clean that. So,
Well, you said earlier that you don't know what to do. I'll tell you, I know what to do.
tell me
The
and
first
tell
thing
our
you
audience.
have to do is to. I think a lot of people are not aware. People that are awake, people that are in the same state of mind like us, like-minded people. I see a lot of people like us that are afraid. They're scared, and rightfully so, because of everything that's happening. But one thing that we need to remember is that we are strong beings. We can do a lot more than what we think, okay? And I'm a living proof for that. So first of all, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you can, and if you act to do something, you can achieve that goal. Again, I'm a living proof because when I got into this geoengineering, activism, I didn't know much about geoengineering, and I got together with all these amazing activists from all over the country, people that have been doing this for the last over 10 years. Okay, 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about geoengineering, okay? I maybe heard about Alex Jones, but I didn't hear about geoengineering 10 years ago. These people have been doing it for a long, long time, way more than me, and we just got together. We put our egos aside and we work together, and that's how you can change reality, really. If you put your ego aside, you put your differences aside, that we're being controlled by fear. We're being controlled by a division, divide and conquer, all this trick in the book. If we put our differences aside, if we work together as one, and we do this, like, also, with the politics and stuff, so many people, they like to criticize us because we work with people like Limor Sunar Melech and stuff like that. But it's not about this. It's not about left versus right. It's about humanity, about our future. And it's about, living on this planet and leaving something for the next generation that they could, be happy to live there too, one day.
Right.
So
I wrote
that's what it's all about. You
I
need to
wrote this
remember you're strong.
I wrote this
Yeah.
book on Kabbalah and quantum theory. It's called Ad Shiloh, the blueprint for the final awakening, and it's hit number 1 on Amazon. It's a great book in quantum theory, number 1 in Torah, number 1 in Kabbalah. And in this book, I talk about the superposition of reality and the observer effect, that physics has proven that reality doesn't exist until it's observed by each and every one of us, that it exists in a superposition until it's brought down into reality through our observation. Now, collectively, we have this conscious agreement on what reality is. Reality is what we've all decided it is. Gravity happens because we have like this subconscious mutual understanding of gravity. And if the collective of all of humanity decided that we believe in immortality, or we could fly, or we could float, so too would reality. We would observe the reality, and it would come into a world where that could be a possibility. So, according to physics, you're absolutely right. There's like this collective energy that if we combine our collective belief on what the world really is, or what is really possible, we can achieve anything, including immortality. And so lately I've been telling people that I am immortal because I've really realized that I'm immortal, and it starts with believing that you're immortal. It starts with believing that, that this is what God has in store for us, not to fall victim to the prescription of traditional reality that you will live and you will die and you got to get a job and you got to do this and all these preconditioned psychological operations that tell us what it means to be an adult and what it means to be, and it's so crazy too, because you only most of these people are like killing themselves by falling victim to like this pattern that they're just believing in things. Like maybe they believe that they have a disease, and all they have to do is start focusing on believing in other things. So I'm all about that collective consciousness unifying together. And as long as we're fighting each other, we're the yamin and the small, the right and the left, and everybody's like, I'm gonna protest, and everybody's being stupid and lame. Nobody can unite on a collective consciousness except for division. And so manifesting reality creates a division inside of the reality. But if we were all able to unify together, and this is what makes humans so special, unlike other creatures, is that level of Bechirat Chofshit that we have, that free will, that when we combine our collective energy on any given subject, we can heal the sick, we can remove the plastics from the ocean, we could transcend death and live forever, which is actually the goal of the Mashiach. The goal of the Mashiach is to transcend death, to transcend all the negativity and to live forever. That's what Mashiach is here to do, to come and bring the Techiyat Meitim, this consciousness that we are able to live forever, that we are, that in the blueprint of how we were created immortal. And then through the eating of the tree of knowledge, the Eitz Dat Tov Ra, we fell victim to becoming mortal, and this pattern of life, and the responsibility and the drudging nature of existence. And you live, and only from 20 to 35 is like the good years, and then the rest of it is downhill. And we collectively have agreed on those principles that women go into menopause in their 50s. If we collectively put our conscious effort and truly believed with emunah, not with, and I talk about this in my book, that emunah is a spiritual technology to collapse reality into what we actually want it to be. So people have emunah in death, in money, in all these things, instead of having emunah in Hashem and having emunah in creating a new collective will for creation. So I commend the work that you're doing, because for a lot of people, it has to be physical. It can't be this etheric collapsing of reality through emunah. At the highest levels of nishamot, it is etheric. But on the lowest levels, we have to lobby Knesset. We have to get engaged with our civic leadership. We have to set up a an air filter inside of on a farm to show the physical nature of what's actually happening, to prove to the subconscious of humans that it's dangerous, so that they will choose to believe that it's dangerous, and then they will go and believe in something new and to create a new direction. So change happens slowly until the grand revelation. And when the grand revelation happens, which is the ultimate disclosure, then humanity will fully wake up and will be very rapid in what we want to change. And it's happening. You could see it. I mean, I'm 42 years old, and we grew up in a world that we completely don't live in anymore. The expectations and the rules and the boundaries of that world do not exist anymore. So I commend the work that you're doing, because on a subconscious level, you're really changing the hearts and minds of people and waking them up to this grand conspiracy, that there's kind of like this invisible hand that exists behind the veil of reality that's attacking us, that wants to see us low and degenerate and not free and bound to control. And that is what geoengineering is all about: controlling the human and manipulating the human into completely being controllable. So I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing in Israel at Blue Sky.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
with the time that we have left, why don't you tell the audience? Obviously, you said by next year the laws will be passed, but why don't you tell the audience, what the step-by-step plan is to get to next year, where they can find you, how they could support you financially, what type of money it's going to cost. Give us the full scope. Take as much time as you need. Download us with what you need. There's a lot of people, especially Christians, that watch this show that really want to help build Israel correctly. And, there's a lot of money, a lot of power in America that wants to support these type of things. So give us the month by month. It's May. It's about to be June. What's the schedule for June 2027, month by month, how we get there, so that by June 2027, geoengineering is banned in Israel, and that type of movement exported to America. Fuck the rest of the world.
So our group actually has, we work in different lanes. So we have the lane that works in the Knesset. We have the legal team that is working on writing lawsuits, getting information from different organizations, government organizations like Freedom of Information. So we have that group, and we have another group that is more about the boots on the ground, people that are busy showing people, talking to people, what is geoengineering. Some people also went and they protested in front of Stardust offices in Israel. So we have the boots on the ground, we have the legal team, and we have the group that works in the Knesset. In the Knesset specifically, like I said, we're expecting to pass this new law, hopefully, Bezrat Hashem, in the next few months, if not until next year. What we're doing right now, luckily for us, the process is not that antagonizing. It's actually, I don't want to jinx myself, but there is already a law in Israel. It's called the Clean Air Act that was written in 2008. We just need to rewrite it. Add a few more clauses to the law. We have to just tweak it a little bit, add the geoengineering part, but we have to write it well, because from what I understand, in states like Florida, for example, where they passed a law against geoengineering, there is a lot of breaches in the law. So we want to make sure that our legal team is on it and is writing the best, writing this law in the best way possible, because we have to cover a lot of topics, different heights of spraying in the atmosphere, how we're going to also how we're going to make sure that no one breaks the law, and how we're going to regulate it. And because I didn't even mention it, there is also the topic about radiation, that it's also caused severe radiation. It works with the 5G, with the HARP, there's so many things to geoengineering, and it's not only coming from the planes, it's coming also from the sea and from the ground. It's such a broad topic. So we need to really cover that very, very well when we rewrite this law. And so that obviously will take us time. It takes a lot of it takes money. It takes a lot of money to write this law. Right now, all of us, except for the lobbyist that is working for us in the Knesset, we do everything completely voluntarily. We pay the lobbyist. We've been paying her since November of last year. We pay her every month for her work. She's doing amazing, holy work, really. And probably have to pay her until that next year. We hope to also work with a PR agency, because what's happening in Israel, I don't think we're in the same place like in the USA. In Israel, it's still very much in a conspiracy bubble still. A lot of people are not aware that it's happening. A lot of people are trying to ridicule us, especially from the mainstream media. Like, mainstream media doesn't touch this topic at all. We want to try to get into the mainstream media to explain to them, because we have experts that know this field way better than me, that can explain it, from A to Z. In the most scientific way. So we want to be there. We want to be on the mainstream media. We want to explain to the public what's happening, what they can do to help, what they can do to change it. And we also, I think that's pretty much it. Maybe I missed something. Give me a second. Yeah, that's pretty much what we need to do right now. We're talking to members of the Knesset. We hope to get a committee in the Knesset very, very soon that will, we're going to have a big meeting with members of the Knesset, explain this topic. Again, members of the Knesset, we spoke to many of them, are not aware this is a thing. They don't know anything. They're either, lying, or they really are unaware that this is really happening, that this is a thing. And we had to educate them, we had to explain to them. We made a book, a notebook that explains the whole thing. Right now we're working on an academic book that is going to be written by some doctors and professors from Israel.
That's incredible.
That will explain the topic, the whole thing. It's going to be a big book. We're working on that as well. So our team, splits to so many different things. And again, we're all doing it from our love to humanity, from our love to Israel, and we really want to make it happen. But it is a lot more difficult when you don't have any funds. It takes a lot longer.
So you need money. Yeah. You need money.
Yeah, for sure.
All you American Jews out there, send some money. What's the website where people can find you?
So our website is operation-bluesky.com. That's our website. It's right now in Hebrew, but we're working on translating it to English. Thank you. And we also have, I just published a
And people can make donations on the website?
Yeah. So we have the donation on the website. You also have the donations on my Twitter handle. And so you can go ahead and follow me.
And your Twitter
there.
handle is?
Shelly B. Rawlings, I think. Yeah. So that's my Twitter handle.
Did I get
so
this
go
right?
Follow me there. And thank you. Yeah, so I really appreciate this time, for giving me the opportunity to talk about it. And thank you for everyone that stayed until now and listened.
Absolutely. And before we leave, on an off topic, I get a lot of crazy anti-Semitism on this show. And most of our audience is neo-Nazis and stuff anyway. Most of our audience is Jewish. We get a lot of views in Israel, but literally we get hundreds of millions of views on the show from neo-Nazis. And
wow.
They're always saying the same thing. They're saying Israelis are the greatest threat to America. I'll show you. Actually, last week we were very involved in the removal of Thomas Massie from Congress. Our whole team has been. We were the first. I was the first person to out Thomas Massie as a Nazi. So the first thing he does out of Congress is he throws up this post, and of course everybody said out of 204,000, everybody says Israel, right? Iran, China, Russia, and this is a sitting member of Congress, or was a sitting member of Congress, and last week we just ousted him from Congress during the week of Sfira of Malchut, which was really incredible. But a lot of times I get this question asked to me, what good does Israel do for America? Do Israelis love America? Do Israel secretly hates America? You know, they're always trying to say that Israel is the worst enemy. Like Thomas Masshole just said that Israel's the biggest threat to America. Outside of everything we just talked about geoengineering and all that, maybe you could leave the audience with a little message from an Israeli woman. What do you feel about America? And be as honest and raw and transparent. If you think America's bullshit, say so. If you love America, say so. What do you feel? Share it with the Nazis. Tell the Nazis directly to they're here. They always listen. They're the biggest trolls in the world. What do you have to say to them about Israel and America? What do you think about the relationship? What does it mean to you? What does America mean to you as an Israeli stam, not an American, not a dual citizen? You are an Israel first loyalist, loyal to the state of Israel. What does America mean to you?
Well, personally, I love America. A lot, like most people in Israel love America, you know. And I don't know many people that don't like America. And it's so funny because they say the neo-Nazis in I guess the United States and other places, they always say that the United States is being controlled by Israel. But the narrative in Israel is completely the opposite. Everybody in Israel say that America controls Israel. So which one is it? Like, I think, you know, Israel and America are allies. They work together. They've always been working together. It's, you know, it is what it is. You know, we love each other. We work together. We do amazing things together. Israel is developing this amazing technology. You know, the Israelis are doing good things. They're like everywhere else, all over the world. There is good people and bad people. You know, there is good people and bad people in Russia. There is good people and bad people in China. There is good people and bad people in Belgium. You know, like you can't just say, oh, because there is a few bad apples in one place, everybody is a bad apple. Like, it's just pure nonsense, you know. And to say because the whole anti-Israel movement is just like you said. It's just another fad. It's just another fashion. You know, like Kanye West, I think, started it before the war started in Israel when he did this Magen David with the swastika, when he posted about it on his Twitter handle. Like, he made it like so fashionable, and then he became best friends with Candace Owens. And I actually followed Candace before this whole thing happened. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, we lost her. And then I felt right away, like you said it before, it was like COVID, you know, when people split up and there was the vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers, and you couldn't talk to the anti-vaxxers. Like, they didn't care. They didn't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to know. But it's retarded. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about
it's retarded.
this.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
We
and
love
what do you think
America.
about Goyim?
We love the United States.
What do you think about Goyim? Are you a religious Jew? Are you Shomer Shabbat, Shomer Kashrut? Do you do any of that stuff, or are you more secular?
Well, I was raised secular, completely secular. I was raised in a left-wing house, okay? My mom used to work. She worked for her entire adult life in Channel 11, which is completely left-wing channel, the first channel in Israel. And so that was my home. That's how I grew up. I actually moved to Canada when I was 20, and I lived in Canada for a few years. And in Canada, as you know, I was considered myself as a left-wing person. You know, in Canada, I was completely like I wasn't lefty enough, I guess, for Canadians, like the left-wing Canadians. Like it's so far left in Canada that it kind of like woke me up to see, okay, how bad this can go when you just go all the full on left and you don't with no breaks. And then I came back to Israel, and you know, I like as an Israeli, you know, that lived abroad, it doesn't matter where I live and where I am. I'm always going to be Israeli. Israel is in my heart. It's in my blood. Yeah. So after I came back to Israel from Canada, I became more and more and more and more conservative, more religious. Now I am Shomer Shabbat, but you know, I do my best. I'm not pure religious, but I do my best to, you know, pray, and you know, I light the candles on Shabbat, and yeah, try to be a good parent to my children, show them Jewish values, and yeah, doing my best.
And what do you think about the Goyim?
Well,
they want to know. They really want to know.
I don't know what to say. Goyim, yeah, you know, the Goyim, they're awesome. You know, it's cool. I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. You know, it is what it is. I don't know what to say.
I know it's a funny question, right? It's not something you probably think about, but it's like a constant, like on Twitter, it's like a constant LARP, like the Goyim, oh, the Goyim. And it's all done by the Goyim. Like, I never even used the word Goy until like everybody started saying it on the internet. And it was like, and I wanted to ask you because I want Goyim to see what people think about you. You know, like Candace Owens is so stupid. She like accused me of killing Charlie Kirk, and she does all this stuff. You know, she says we want to own her like cattle. And like, honestly, like I personally troll. I think it's funny to troll and, you know,
yeah, for sure.
piss them off and say, you know, nasty things like, Candace, we do own you, you stupid cow. You know, like, but in all honesty, it's a joke. You know, I'm just trolling because,
right.
You know, Hashem created the world, and he says in the Bible that the Mashiach is Shiloh, a gathering of all the people of the world. You know, and this I believe firmly. So I love to troll.
Honestly, it's not so extreme. It doesn't have to be so extreme. Like I know Twitter is like
they get so like extreme with us, so I got to push back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I find that when you make fun of the Goyim, they actually like it. You got to do it, though, in a way that makes them laugh, you know, and not be like an angry Goy hater or something like that, but just like feed into the narrative that they're pushing. Like, yeah, we control the banks. Duh, we do, you know. But, you know, they say Jews control the weather, and here you are trying to fight Jews who are trying to control the weather. So, I mean, like, the sword works both ways. So, but I appreciate that commentary because I don't think we make it without the Goyim. You know, I think part of God's plan involves every piece of creation. That even if one ant in creation ceased to exist, the entire creation wouldn't. It's being held up. It needs that ant. You know, it needs that tiny molecule, that singular atom, and the vacuum of the absence of that atom destroys the entire world because it was intended to be created and to sustain itself. So I believe, you know, if God didn't want the Goyim, he would have made only one type of human. If God didn't want diversity, he would have made one type of bird. You know, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of species of birds. Hashem loves diversity. But it is fun to troll these silly goytards. So I'm glad that I had your perspective on it, you know, and because it's important. It's important to let people know how you feel and let the world know how Israel feels about America. And one thing I love about Israel is going to the canyon in Tel Aviv, the mall, especially the movie theater in the mall, because it literally is a carbon cutout of the movie theaters that we grew up with here in America. Like, there's no greater cultural reference than the movie theaters in Israel. I mean, it's like the same style seats, the same style building, the same popcorn, the same vending, the same, arcade in the foyer of the movie theater with the American games and the pinball machines. It's so American. And so much so, Israel is literally, to the denigration of Judaism, it's trying to copy American culture in every possible way, right and left. So
exactly.
America and Israel go hand in hand, and it's very important to me. And that's so I'm glad that I got your opinion on that before we close out. Last words, Shelly Rawlings, and then we're going to close the show.
Last words. Wow. That's so much pressure.
Live wisdom from the heart. Chochmat halev. Teach us something about Hashem.
Well,
anything.
Yeah, like you were saying before, about, people are going so extreme, the goyim and this and that. Like, not everything is black and white. There is like so many shades of gray in the middle. There is a spectrum of, of possibilities. There is, we need as humanity to just find balance and to work together, and amazing things will happen. Honestly, it's already happening. People in our group, they come from all the, different walks of life, from all the spectrums of politics, and we just put our differences aside and we work together, and that's just amazing to see. And because of that, our group is so successful, and we're doing amazing things. So thank you so much for your time and for having me on the show.
Count me in as a member of your group. I'm here to help for anything. Come back on the show after your big breaking news and whatever legislation you pass, so we could plug it and help you get the word out on what's going on in the Knesset. This is like one of those positive stories, as opposed to everything being terrorism, danger, Jews attacked, blah, blah, blah. This is like Jews saving the world. And we want to say it. We want to promote that story here at Awesome Jew. So I appreciate you. You're an awesome Jew, and you belong on the channel. Thank you very much. Come back again really soon and keep us updated on everything you're doing.
For sure. We'd love to. Thank you so much.
Sei gesund.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. So there you had it, folks. Israel saving the world. Shelly Rawlings doing everything she can to end geoengineering in Israel, and loving the Goyim at the same time, loving America at the same time, doing everything in her power to be a light unto the nations. And I'm really curious your thoughts on this episode. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I don't even know what I got coming up next. I got a ton of stuff always. I'm supposed to do another one with Jake Shields. I don't even know. I've been playing on ice. I've been so busy in my life. But also, I want to give a second big shout out to Mazel Mate. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Please, Mazel Mate, we want to just launched. Like I said, if you're just tuning in now and you're Jewish, go to mazelmate.com, get an account, start meeting people so that we can procreate and make more Jews. The number one way to defeat the Nazis is to have more Jews. Y'all want to combat anti-Semitism? Just go have sex. Don't pull out. Make a Jew. That crushes them. That is the ultimate win. And Mazel Mate is the place to do it. Brand new, Jewish owned, always going to be controlled by Jews, never going to sell out to a Mormon company match group like David Yaris did with JSwipe. It's always going to be Jewish owned. It's here. It's like cheaper than all the other Jewish sites. It's here to promote Jews, finding Jews. They have really cool features on the site, like a discussion thread. It's like X, so you can meet people like just like X is. like people make a post and people comment on the post, and you can meet people that way and go on dates that way. Very innovative. The owner of the company is going to do a lot to constantly evolve and change the company. Mazelmate.com. It's going to be hot. They're going to be sponsoring the show left and right. They're going to be our number one sponsor moving forward, because that's really the activism that I want, After going on all these different, shows and podcasts and doing all this content and fighting with them or making them laugh and all this stuff, the ultimate win is just to promote Jewish values. I have 2 matches. I actually have 1 match that went to marriage, and I just made another match, and I'm hoping that goes to marriage. And because every time is children that are in this world because you decided to help somebody that find their besheret. Mazelmate.com is where it's at. And it's brand new. The newest. All the other Jewish apps suck, man. They suck. And they are so grabbly with their money. They all want money, 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 money. And Ringle's okay. But you got to be careful with these, because there's all these fake accounts and stuff on there. But everybody's verified on Mazelmate. And highly recommend. More than anything, go procreate, folks. That's what they don't want, is more Jews. They don't care about your opinions or what you think unless you're entertaining. If you're entertaining, be a Jew from Hollywood. Make them laugh. That's what they want. These silly goyim just want to be entertained. And if you entertain them, they do not hate you anymore. They want more of you, actually. Even if they hate watch you, it's still because they love you and they're just trying to get over their hate. So be entertaining, be engaging. And if you really want to conquer them, go have a pure-blooded Jewish child, preferably an unvaccinated pure-blooded Jewish child, because we need to spread those seeds, folks. Spread those seeds and crack them eggs. Mazelmate.com. I'm going to sign out. This is a great show. I'll put something together for you. I'm going to come back every week. I'm going to do more shows. I know I always say that, but things happen, and then I don't want to chase clout either. I try only to do content that means something and means to me. So, sometimes I'll get suggested shows, and it's just clout chasing. I got no business talking to anybody. And I'm trying. Rabbi Nachman says, run from kavod, and I'm trying my best to run from kavod. It's very hard when you have hundreds of millions of views and you're top J on the internet, and everybody's top J-ing you left and right. But I want to stay humble, and I want to have good, meaningful content. Not just, some bullshit to get ahead. But we're going to bring back Torah Tuesdays, but I think I'm going to shift it to Mondays, Torah Mondays. And after Shavuot, I realized we got to teach more Torah to the Goyim. We have to evangelize the Goyim, folks, and we're going to do that on Awesome Jew. We're going to evangelize the world for the sake of the Mashiach. Bimheira ve'yameinu. And hopefully I'll be in Israel this summer where I can evangelize Israel. Light it up, baby. That's all from me. I am your host, Adam King, here on Awesome Jew. Used to be on InfoWars, but they shut it down. And now we're going to go to the moon. We're not stopping. We're too hot. Leaving hearts throbbing. Never forgotten. Waking the dead inside their coffins. Maybe I'll bust out a freestyle next time. But I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Check me out next week. We'll do a show every week, and I'm going to try to do more shows every single day. Keep the algorithms never guessing on when we're going to do it next. Give them a set time and schedule. So I leave you with that. Peace out. Shalom. Salam. Let's all brace ourselves for what comes next. Hopefully it's Greater Israel and Mashiach. Peace.